Welcome back. This is episode number 4, and today we actually have a special guest. This is Meredith. I'll let you introduce yourself. What do you have a connection to Blackwater?
My dad and my brother founded Blackwatertruss, so really I have no part in it now, but I just am here and I visit sometimes.
Being a family member, you saw the beginning. What did that look like for Blackwater? I imagine it wasn't this big production company that it is now.
No, definitely not. Blackwatertruss started in my backyard actually, so so definitely not as crazy big as it is now. So it was pretty cool to watch that whole process unfold and happen with David and my dad. Yeah.
I imagine you thought maybe they were a little crazy in the beginning.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, they're still a little crazy.
Yeah, anyone that owns a business, I think, is a little crazy.
Right.
And I definitely saw like all the hours and late nights and early mornings and traveling and all of that craziness that they put into it.
Yes, David was actually telling me about all of that this morning on our ride to Navarre, and he explained to me how they were in a storage unit making trusses and all that crazy stuff, and then the shed behind your house.
Yes. Yeah. They would definitely be waking me up really early in the morning, like welding in the backyard.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
They wanted to make this company work, that's for sure. Speaking of business owners, you would know what it's like to be a crazy business owner.
Yes.
Today we're going to talk about a business outside of Blackwatertruss. Meredith owns The Makery. And The Makery is a local bakery here in Pace, Milton area. And let's go ahead and talk about that. What started you into the baking business?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've really been baking since I was young with my mom or my grandmother. And in high school, I really decided it was something that I wanted to pursue and continue to do. I had no idea I could have like a full-fledged like career as a chef or a baker, but I did know like owning a bakery was something that would be really fun for me and something that I just always wanted to do. And like Pace in particular never had a bakery when I was here.
Right.
So it was something that I always thought could maybe happen one day, and it did. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, where did your baking profession start? Didn't start with just you opening a bakery, did it?
No. So I definitely started doing it at home and teaching myself on my own a lot. But there was actually this little bakery on Highway 90 in Milton here, and it's no longer there, but that's kind of where I started professionally baking. And then I moved to Small Cakes, Pensacola, so I was one of their cake decorators there, and would ice hundreds and hundreds of cupcakes and cakes in a week, or in a day sometimes. And then from there, I actually got married and moved away, and I cooked professionally in kitchens and did not just baking, but the other side of things as a sous chef at like a fine dining restaurant, and then moved over to a private golf club. And then went to Savannah, Georgia, and worked at a bakery there to kind of see what it was going to be like one day when I did that myself. And that was a great experience. And also went to a resort hotel in downtown Savannah and was their executive pastry chef for a while, making like massive wedding cakes and desserts and all that good stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome. I went on a cruise. I've been on several, but I went on a cruise last summer, and we did like the private chef's dinner.
Ooh, that's so fun.
And they did all the little sous chef designer pastries and whatnot, and I know you make a lot of those.
Yeah.
What got you into that style of baking versus just your run-of-the-mill cupcakes and cakes?
Yeah, for sure. I think just the different experiences that I had at different restaurants, and even traveling, going to Europe and seeing like all the different styles of things and things that I couldn't get growing up here, I guess.
Yes.
Things that I wanted to learn more about but just didn't have access to necessarily in person. So that kind of really piqued my interest, I think.
And your bakery, I've noticed, because I'm a fat kid at heart and I follow all the bakeries and venture to all of them. But your bakery sets itself apart, I feel. And one of those ways is with your special baked goods. How would you say you set yourself apart and, are successful around here?
Yeah, for sure. I think we're also really well known not just for our pastries you can walk in and grab every day, but also for our classes and events. I actually just taught a cake decorating class last night, so that was really fun.
Absolutely.
We do like sourdough classes and cookie decorating classes, all that good stuff too. Yeah.
And who's able to go to these events?
Anyone can. Yep, they can just sign up.
How do they sign up?
On our website.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So after you traveled and you decided to come back to the area, then it was your dad and your brother's turn to think you were crazy to start your own business. How did that go?
Yeah. I actually don't think they in particular thought I was that crazy. They sort of knew I was going to do that forever, I'm sure. And probably to them, like, our tiny little bakery with our few employees is not that crazy compared to what they're doing.
Yes.
I mean, our products are really small compared to theirs, which are massive. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't think they thought I was too crazy. Definitely had lots of opinions to offer and lots of business advice, of course, and that was really helpful. So
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that your venture is small by any means. You guys, with these classes and stuff you offer, I think it sets yourself in a whole different category, I guess, than a couple of the other bakeries that I can think off the top of my head. I think you guys are creating what we're trying to create here at Blackwatertruss, which is a brand.
Yeah.
And I see you guys really creating that well. How long have you guys been in business now?
Yeah, we technically opened our doors in December of 2023.
Okay.
I actually was in high school when I wrote down the makery in a note in my phone. I just like woke up one night and just had this idea of like a make your own cupcake bar in store.
Awesome.
And so that's kind of where the name the makery came from, like making your own.
Yeah.
And so just kind of like throughout my journey, I've always added notes to it and just kind of added more ideas and things like that. And like, I guess more of the brand identity part of it really comes from my husband, Cody, who's a designer. And so he was really good about like, you know, I was just like, I want to make baked goods that make people happy. That's all I got. And he's like, okay, but what story are we trying to tell? And what are we trying to convey to people that we're all about here? And so we kind of decided that the makery would be welcoming. And that's like our first and foremost, like biggest, most important thing for us, whether it's a class or you're just coming in to get a pastry or whatever it is. And so we thought about the thing that would be most welcoming to us, and that was our grandparents' houses growing up.
Yes.
Yeah, so our actual storefront is kind of modeled after that a little bit because we have like a big floral mural that looks like, you know, the flowery wallpaper that would be at your grandparents' house.
Oh, yeah.
And we have like a wall of shame with like our embarrassing pictures on it with all of our accomplishments or whatever. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Your husband, Cody.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your husband, Cody, because he is the social media aspect of your bakery, and he does all of that. So you guys are a team, and you kind of run that together. So how does that work? I don't know if I could work with my husband every day. So
yeah, absolutely. And so we just kind of naturally made that transition. It just made sense for us for him to be more full-time at the bakery. So you usually see him as like the friendly face in the front while I'm like in the back cake decorating or doing whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
So he loves talking to people and getting to know people. So so with our social media, we are super thankful because we have a great team at the bakery, and they are always willing to help us with new ideas or film like crazy things. And we also will sometimes go to like our wholesale accounts, like other cafes or coffee shops in the area, and be like, hey, will you film this with us? And they always are willing to, and that's always super great. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's, you know, I've always said throughout my entire career, I've said networking is the biggest, most productive way to market any business. It's one reason I said I want Meredith on here to talk about the makery, and your dad thought I was crazy because he said, what does the makery have to do with Blackwatertruss? But, you know, it's all about, like I said, creating a brand, creating a just environment, and we want our company to showcase other successful businesses in the area, and the makery is definitely a successful business. You having a history with Blackwater just is icing on the cake, no pun intended on that one.
And I find people really want to know the story behind where they're spending their money in that way too. Like,
Absolutely.
It's nice to know that here, like, there's people that are looking at this thing that you're building that's going to last you a long time, that's for maybe for your family or for your business, and like they want to know that it's not just a factory or a machine just like cranking it out, but like people with real eyes and real minds, like looking at it and thinking about it and
I agree.
making sure it's what's best for you. So yeah.
Yes, I think that. I love getting on websites of companies that I'm going to buy something from, and I go down and I scroll to about me section and look at the owners and just I enjoy reading their stories. I enjoy seeing the beginning, and
For sure.
You talking about the beginning being in your parents' backyard, and also hearing David's side of that this morning it's really wholesome, I think, because you get to understand truly where something began.
Yeah.
And it's like,
For sure.
like I said, it's just wholesome. Just like the makery. It's really cool to hear that you came up with that idea as a high schooler. High school was a long time ago for me. So
For me too, yeah.
Those ideas we think of in high school. And I think it's also important to talk about that to a younger audience, because you want them to feel seen and know that things you do now and think of now, they're going to come back, whether in a positive way or sometimes maybe not a positive way, but no, that's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. So one thing that you and I have talked about just in previous conversations is you were kind of responsible for this logo behind me.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
I believe they wanted to make their first marketing brochure, and they were struggling with it, and they were really wanting to they didn't even have a logo to start with, right? Of course, because they are honestly moving and growing and building things so quickly. It's that's the least of their concerns at that time. So I think I was probably 13 or 14, and I made their first go at their logo on Microsoft Paint on the computer, and I had no idea what I was doing, obviously, and someone much more talented than I did came along and fixed that much better. But but initially kind of made their little
you worked with what you had,
Truss above their name. So
yeah. Well, Canva was not a thing back then,
it was not.
We were pretty limited to designing on computers back then.
There was no ChatGPT guides for what to do.
I remember word art when we got to create things in school. You get 5 options, and out of those 5 options, you have to be creative.
That's true.
But so they created their logo and worked in their backyard. It was really just a homemade DIY situation.
100%.
That's awesome. What did your mom think about all of this in the beginning? Was she on board? Was she excited? Was she out there welding as well?
She definitely, I don't think, has ever welded. I have only once or twice. But she definitely was supportive, and she definitely thought they were a little crazy, for sure. I think we all did, honestly. Yes. And that's okay. They proved us all wrong. That's good.
Yes.
But I think she was also excited to see that they were doing something that they were excited and passionate about, and excited to innovate and change things. So,
and see the progress.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say, with everybody in this company, not just your dad and brother, everybody is always ready to do better. They want progress. It's almost like everybody is challenged here to see who can come up with the cooler, better option, and that's a cool thing in a teamwork, in a team environment, because nobody's just sitting idling, and
it's so important in a business to be ever changing and growing, and or if you're not moving forward, you're just.
And you mentioned about your team at the bakery, that everyone's always willing to do skits and funny. That's the case here too, and from a marketing standpoint, I'm sure Cody says the same thing to you. From a marketing standpoint, it's so important, because you actually feel like you've got a team that's wanting to move forward and not backwards.
Absolutely.
Because you have someone that's going to be stale and not want to do the fun, cool things. It really puts a damper. Puts a damper in your day.
Yeah.
But it really helps things progress and move forward and create that brand. I know I keep saying that, but that's our goal here, is to create that brand and create the brand of the makery. And so Blackwatertruss is how everything began, and then they incorporated USA Metal Sales.
Right.
What do you think about these barn dominiums and pole barns and all of that the company builds.
I think they're so awesome. I love when sometimes we'll have a bride and groom come in and they'll tell me like, we're getting married at Eight's Ranch or something.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, my dad built that, or my brother helped to do that or something.
Absolutely.
You know, I think that's so cool, which is not quite a barn dominium, but
it
similar
was
vein.
built
Yeah.
from us,
Yeah, which I think is so cool. And just like being out and about, seeing all of the things like that they've done, like at Bailey's Produce,
Yes.
or over at Splash RV Park.
Yes.
I think it's so cool just to see that in person, and everything is awesome. But love barn dominiums, love what they're doing with them. I mean, I've seen so many cool new ideas out there too. And it seems like they're on the front lines of that, like
Yes.
doing new and different things, and really making them more cozy and more home-like than
Yes.
than previously. And like, as some people I think of a barn dominium as like cold and steel and farm and not glamorous,
Yes.
but they can be so nice.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny that you mentioned how we're on the front lines of that and whatnot. I feel like that's partially due to your brother
Yes.
not being able to say no.
Yes, 100%.
So he's two things. He's always ready for a challenge, but he also does not know how to say no.
Yes.
So someone calls in and wants to build something that sounds unbuildable. Your brother's on the phone with them saying, we'll have you a quote in 20 minutes. And
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
but it really works out. Like you said, you go to these businesses. We went to Pickett's today in Navarre, and
Nice.
it's an antique place. And oh my gosh, I actually was there filming, and I bought some antiques.
That's awesome.
So it's really cool to drive around and notice that
Yeah,
that we built that. We have our name on that, and
for sure.
I'm sure you're the same way with your bakery. When you see
Oh, yeah.
people post and tag you, it's
Yeah,
just
it's
it's
awesome.
a good feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
So
That's cool.
David.
David did say no to one project that I asked for him to
So
do.
he said no to you.
Yes, my husband and I wanted to build a tiny house, and he said, what? And they thought it was super cool and did lots of research. They're
Yes.
like, this is just not what we do.
And
Which
what
is
do
fair.
you live in currently?
A tiny house, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we had it built by somebody.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I had a barn dominium built, and
Yeah.
it wasn't by them.
Oh.
And I tease them all the time because I built it before working here, obviously.
Yeah.
And I tell them, you needed a better marketing person back
'Cause you
then
didn't
because
know.
I did not know you existed.
Right.
So, they could
There
have
you
built
go.
a tiny house.
They
They
could
could have
have.
built a barn dominium.
They
and
missed out.
They missed out.
That's true.
I'm sure they're okay with missing out on the tiny
Yeah,
house.
I think so.
But
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
your tiny house is pretty cool. I don't know that I could live in it.
It's pretty
I
awesome.
have seen it, and it's very tiny.
Yeah.
You must really love your husband.
I do.
That's
I do.
all I can say.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all for today on episode 4. I want to thank Meredith from the Makery for coming out today and sitting with me and chatting. I, myself, am going to be enjoying one of her cakes this weekend for my son's birthday. We ordered from there. If you guys want to order from there, make sure you look them up on Facebook. They'll be tagged below. And definitely stop in and say hi to Meredith and Cody and the rest of the team.
For
Thank
sure.
you, Meredith.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.